What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Sweet and Savory Barbecue. I'm your host, Jamie Trader. Today we're going to be doing ribeye steaks with compound butter out on our PK grills. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our compound butter. We've got a whole stick of unsalted butter. We're going to add a couple of things to it. First, I've got a couple of teaspoons of that salt, pepper, and garlic rub that we make. There will be a link for this recipe down in the description. Pour that in there. Some rosemary. Some thyme, and some minced garlic. What we're going to do now is just get all of that mixed up, get it all incorporated. It's going to add a lot of flavor to our steak when we put this on it. We've got all those components mixed into our butter. I've just got some plastic wrap laid out here. We're just going to spoon this butter right onto that plastic wrap. I kind of wrap it over. We're going to kind of make it into a little roll. And that'll let us slice nice even pats of butter for our steak when that time comes. Kind of like a sausage. You just put that right in the fridge. If you're needing it right now, go ahead and stick it in the freezer. It'll firm up and be good to go. Now that we've got our butter made up, we're going to pull our steaks out. I'm just going to do a quick little trim. This is something you really don't have to do. I just think it looks better. I like to trim the tail off. If you want to leave it on there, by all means, go ahead. Trim it off there. To me, it just makes for a better looking steak. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to get some seasoning on these next. So the first thing we're going to do to our steaks is put some Worcestershire sauce on there. Don't need a whole lot. We're just going to do a little bit to help that rub stick. Come over here and get this other one. That looks good. And for our base layer, we're going to do salt, pepper, and garlic blend. Again, the same one we used for that butter. Make sure you get a good even coat on there. And for just a little bit of color and a little kick of spice, we're coming back with Killer Hogs Hot Rub. There we go. I'm going to flip them over and repeat the same process. A little Worcestershire. Got salt, pepper, and garlic. And the Killer Hogs Hot. We're going to let these hang out right here on the cutting board while we go outside and get our PK fired up. So we're out here at the PK. We've got a chimney full of royal oak, briquette charcoal, a couple of fire starters. We're going to get them lit. Put your chimney of charcoal right on top. Let that hang out for about 20 minutes. These coals will kind of come down and be level with this charcoal chimney. That's when you know it's time to get them dumped in there. So we've got our charcoal burnt down to even. We're going to get it dumped out. We're going to set up it as a 2-zone fire. So we're just going to do on half this PK. We'll go ahead and get our grill grates in place. We're going to close our lid. Our bottom intakes are about half open. I'm going to start with these about a quarter open. And we're going to measure our temperature on our grill grates. We want it to be about 550 to 575 to sear these steaks. So we're going to check our grill grates. I like to temp mine right down in the valley. We're looking at 580, 590, 570. That's exactly where we want to be. In that 550 to 600 range. We've got a little duck fat spray we're going to use. We're going to spray it right on the steak, just a light coat. And come back and do the same thing on the grates. We're going to put it down at an angle. Just give it a little press. Do the same thing with this other steak. Light coat of that duck fat. And down at an angle. We're going to close the lid. Set our timer for 1 minute and 20 seconds. First minute and 20 is up. Come in here and take our lid off. I'm going to take the steak off. Come in here and clean our grates. A little more duck fat spray. And we're going to come down to the opposite angle. Same thing with this other one. Clean our grates. A little more of the duck fat. And the opposite angle. Set our timer for another minute and 20 seconds. Our second minute and 20 is up. We're going to come in here. Now we're going to give these guys a flip. Do the same kind of process. Go ahead and pop that steak up. Clean our grill grates off. Give that steak another hit of that duck fat. At an angle. Beautiful grill marks on there. We'll do the same thing with this steak. Clean our grates off. Some duck fat. Back at that angle. Grill marks looking beautiful. Set our timer for another minute and 20. We're going to give these steaks one last twist. Same process as we've been doing. Clean our grates off. Another minute and 20 seconds. We're going to go ahead and get a raised rack put on here. That way we can move them over if they're not quite done yet. They finish cooking. So our final minute and 20 is up. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get these steaks moved over to this raised rack. And the first thing I want to do before we do anything else, I want to get a quick internal temperature on them. The steak's sitting about 120. This one's about 124. I want to take these to 130. I'm shooting for a medium doneness. We're going to take a couple of pats of those pieces of butter and stick them right on the steak. Close the lid, and we'll come back and check on them about every minute or so. I want to make sure I'm not going to overshoot these steaks. We're going to check our steaks again. That one's sitting at 129, 130. We're going to take that one off. You can see how that butter's melted down over that steak. Let me check this one. That one's 130 right there too. So we'll get these both off here. We're going to let them rest for about 10 minutes. And then we'll cut them up and eat. So we've got our steaks in, they've rested. We're going to come in here, we're going to check our doneness first thing. And that looks pretty well medium to me. Nice warm pink center. So before we actually dig in and eat these, we're going to go review what we did. We started out with 2 ribeye steaks. Got some seasoning on them using our salt, pepper, and garlic seasoning, followed by that Killer Hogs hot rub. We made up a compound butter. That was some butter, unsalted. Got to make sure it's unsalted because we're adding a lot of stuff to it. It had our salt, pepper, and garlic rub in there. Had some thyme, some rosemary, and some minced garlic. Got that rolled up into a log. Got it in the fridge so it hardened up just a little bit. Got these out on the grill. We were running our grate temp about 550 to 575, somewhere in that range. Did them for a minute and 20, twisted them, another minute and 20, and gave them a flip and repeated that process. Once that process was done, we moved them over to our raised rack to get them finished out to that medium doneness. We pulled these guys at 130, let them rest for about 10 minutes. That's all they need. And I'm going to come in here to this spinalis area. It's the most tender part on a ribeye. I'm going to get a bite. You can't beat a good steak. You get a lot of that richness from that butter, the seasonings that come through, the herbs that are in that butter. Makes for an excellent steak. Thank you for checking out this week's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And watch the next one we got picked out for you. And we'll see y'all next time.